Are you waiting for retirement to start your business because you are just too busy to start it right now? Do you believe that it's impossible to have a job and start a business at the same time? Because you are still employed, does it frustrate you that you cannot start a business? If you said yes to any of those, then you are in the right place. Because in this episode, our topic is about how to start a business without quitting your job yet. Hi, welcome to Mommy Negosyo's Business Tips number 41. I've been meeting a lot of people, especially OFWs, as well as those working in the government, who plan on starting a business when they retire. I feel very sad for them. You see, the chances of succeeding at that point in their lives are not really very high. Of course, it's impolite to give unsolicited advice, and so if they don't ask, I just smile and keep my mouth shut. But for the few who ask me, I'd ask them first if I can be frank with them. And if they say yes, this is what I say. There are stages of life when starting a business. The first stage is the easiest, and this is when we are younger. Why? Because when we are younger, we are more resilient, especially when we are still single. Now, if we make mistakes, we can always start again, right? Now, once we already have a family and there are people depending on us, it's not that easy. This is because we cannot risk losing our source of income. We cannot risk that our family members are going hungry, right? But when our kids are still small and if our spouse has a steady source of income, and is supportive of our dreams of being business builders, we can still take that risk and start. Now, once the kids are going to school, especially high school, it will be a lot more difficult because we cannot risk them having to stop schooling because of our business failures. This is why I propose that you start as soon as possible. So, when should you start your business? ASAP. Yes, ASAP, as soon as possible. As much as possible, start before you reach 45. Why 45? Well, my experience tells me that it takes about 5 years for a business to stabilize. So when you start at 45, your business would stabilize when you reach 50. And when you reach 50, this is when our body starts deteriorating. Usually, this is when we need to start taking maintenance medicines. And by then, we can no longer handle a lot of stress. Now, if you can retire before 45, you can still start a business, but not when you are 60 or worse, 65 or older. At that point, it's best to enjoy your retirement. Travel a little and keep the rest of your money in the bank. This is so that you'll have funds for your medicine later and also to buy little gifts for your grandchildren. If you invest your retirement pay in business and you don't have the skills to run it, the chances of losing it will be really big. What happens if you lose it all? Now, I'm not being pessimistic here. I'm just practical. So, for retirees who are around my age, I hope you don't take this against me. Now, Mommy N, how should we start? Well, the best way to start is to find the best business that's uniquely for you. Yes, there is a unique business that's best for each one of us. I call this your unique business calling. It's so unique that even twins are not always called for the same business. One reason why 95% of businesses fail is that many start the wrong businesses. What they look for and what they do is that they look at what their friends and neighbors are doing and then they copy them. Now, some will even Google, what's the best business for this year? Or follow some celebrity on YouTube who's talking about top business ideas for beginners. And then they'd listen to their advice. What's worse is when they get carried away by the sales talk of people who just want to sell their equipment, their supplies, or their ready-made food carts and call themselves franchises. These are all very sad because I've made all those three mistakes and lost a lot of time and money. So I share these lessons that I have learned in the last 40 years of my life so that you won't make the same painful mistakes. And the lesson I want you to remember at this point is that you have a unique business calling. Yes, you have a unique business calling. And once you discover that, it will be easier for you to succeed. Your unique business calling will be a very strong foundation for your business. And from there, it will be easier to build your business. Now, from my experience and my observation of others, I have made a roadmap showing the steps in starting a business correctly. And with this roadmap, there's very little chance of your business failing. I've named it the Start Your Own Business Pinoy Roadmap. You'll see that finding the capital, which is the reason why most people are scared to start a business, is actually the second to the last step. There are many more steps that you must take before you even worry about capital. The lesson I hope you are getting at this point is that you should not start a business blindly. You no longer have to start it through trial and error. There's a roadmap now that you can follow step by step to success. And so you might be asking, Mommy N, I'm still employed. How can I start? Can I even start following the roadmap now? And my answer is maybe. If you can devote 2 hours a day to it, you can start right away. If not, it may not be the right time for you. So wait until you can already devote at least 2 hours a day to it. What will I do in those 2 hours, Mommy N? You might ask. Well, you're supposed to learn, study, acquire a new skill. Starting a business is a skill. And because it's a skill, just like cooking, you need to apply it. If you do it alone by trial and error, you will waste a lot of money and time before you get it right. So make sure you get a mentor who can guide you each step of the way. There are lessons now. There are mentors and guides. Take that opportunity and do it step by step. So, the lesson here is that it's easier to start a business now. You can start with 2 hours a day. You can follow a tried and tested roadmap, and you can have a mentor to guide you. You don't have to go through the old way of trial and error. This is Mommy N, your Mommy Negosyo, saying, be business minded. See you in the next video.